Hey guys, this is BadTowelAnimation here with my first live stream in a long while, and I'm glad to be here with you guys. So I guess I can get it started. I'm pretty sure I probably have no viewers, probably T, only T probably, but other than that, let's see where this live stream takes us. I just gotta go and check and make sure the stream's working out here. Can you hear me, or takes us? I just gotta go and check. Okay, there we go. So there's a bit of a delay, but I think we can handle it. So what's been up, guys? I can see that you probably can see that my channel has changed. And it's been a long time coming that I thought my channel should change considering, you know, well, I guess there's not much to say. A lot of us take one direction and then when we go in that direction and it doesn't work out, we just change paths. So I decided to go the animation path and it took me quite a while to start up, I'm not going to lie, and a lot of promises of me coming back to YouTube a lot. It's not like I was gone or anything, but I definitely was like around. I was on Twitter, I was commenting, pissing Haggy off like always, being part of the drama as I always have. And it's it's what it is. And it just feels great to be back. I have one, I guess I wouldn't say an episode or anything. I have uh, one I don't even know what you'd call it. I guess a I couldn't even call it a trailer because it's not even really that. It's more of an explanation of what I did with my channel. And I know it's cheesy, my animating is getting better and I'm taking time. I haven't been drawing in so long that, I really had to find what style I wanted to go with. And I always wanted to have, my artistic edge. And I definitely enjoy how it's turned out. I'm currently looking for some voice actors. I've had a few people ask if they could be. I know I do at least have one, and you probably can guess who that is. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to the future of my channel and what's gonna happen with it. I'm not entirely sure that everything's gonna work out the way I think it's gonna work out, but here's to trying. So I've noticed I still only have 2 watchers, so you know what? Thank you, Channel 1, for being here. I guarantee it's you. If it's you down there, you should say hi in the chat. And yeah, so I know I don't get a lot of people watching my live streams, but I think it's necessary for me to do these because I don't get a lot of videos out, and it's definitely easier to get a few live streams out with being a dad. I've been looking into a lot of things like daycare for Ezio, and my roommate has a kid as well. So it's a really jumbled up life, and we're dealing with a lot of things right now. But I'm really trying to make it work, and I'm really trying to make a fan base, and take back the fan base, if that's what you could call it, that I had before. And I'm hoping that people can come along on the journey with me. But, enough about that. Let's talk about some current Twitter news. I hear the Survivor Series sucks crap, and that's not, you know, that's that's not very surprising. Wrestling has taken a really crappy turn the last few years. It hasn't done much for the world. As T often says, you go on there now and you barely realize what's going on because you don't know anyone that's there. The gimmicks are the gimmicks of old are definitely gone, and oh, it just it doesn't work like it usually does. Um, yeah. So in other news, I don't want to divulge on too much, and I'm not really going to talk about much. Like it's none of my business. But I do happen to know that some crap has been going on, and certain people, you know who you are. you need to quit being old and senile and quit lying to yourself. Unfortunately, man, no one was there to watch you, unfortunately, and you seem to not have a grasp with the fact that you're playing a third wheel after being a fourth wheel and you just can't handle it. You know, maybe if you spent time dealing with the show instead of, trying to deal with drama and trying to take both sides, why not just deal with what's in front of you? And, I think that was a major downfall on your part. And I'm sorry to hear that you're acting like this. I thought you were a cool guy. I'm not going to lie, but everyone has a dark side. Everyone has their secrets. Everyone has their angry moments, but you do it one too many times, and people are gonna start thinking you're on your man period. But uh, I'm not, I'm not super keen on, I'm not super keen on talking about all this. But dude, you've been acting pretty crazy. Other than that, that situation, you guys can. I don't know if you guys can guess who I'm talking about, or if you've been watching what's been going on, but it's been a crazy week. I'm sorry I got to be so quiet about it, or not quiet about it, but I definitely got to be more discreet about what I'm talking about because I don't have all the information. I'm just hearing hearsay from one or the other, and I like to put my 2 cents in on the matter. So I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? Well, obviously, I have no watchers, so I'm coming up with this on my own. So, let's see what's going down in the Twitter trending today. Oh yeah, just so you guys know, and just so everyone is well aware, the Stampeders, I'm pretty sure, are going to the Grey Cup if I have that news right, and it's great to know. I'm not sure about the Rough Rubbers or anything like that, but my team rules. The rest of your team suck. Stampeders all the way. And you know what? Just to throw it in there, the Oilers suck too. Cause yeah, I know you probably don't like that I'm saying that, but it's true, bud. It's true. Nashville all the freaking way. All right. You know, oh my god, that's just crazy. That's just crazy. It's all about the Stampeders right now. Yeah, yeah, there's nothing I can see going on. Oh, we got some interesting drama going on here. We got a tweet from Channel One here, coming in hot at 13 minutes ago. Now I've heard it all. Some idiot trolls think I'm Shrek. LMAO. Well, I can tell you personally that he's not Shrek. I've known the guy frickin' years now. He is not Shrek. Shrek is some stupid chav that, hides behind a mask. We've all done it, bud. And they say they have power. There's a lot of things the trolls have said. Honestly, like, oh, I'm gonna expose this about you, or I know this about you, or I used to message Jade about this about you. And you know what? All I can say is the same thing I say to the government frickin' people that are frickin' watching me through my phone. If said thing is true, you know what? They're just gonna see some very unpleasant things that they don't want to see. That every man has to deal with, but has to get done. And kudos to them for watching everybody and being creepy like that. Talking about who's the real criminal here. All right, but back onto the troll situation. So, you know, I've heard a lot of things from all this Hubbard crap with CGI, or what else? Oh, gotta turn my computer back on. Sorry, stop broadcasting there for a second. Probably had lag. But yeah, I've heard it from like a lot of things. Like Channel One is making Channel One and Haggy and the former third host, Tyndall, had been making, you know, a bunch of CGI and I don't even know CGI. I don't even know what they called it. It was just insane. It was really bad. They thought he was making, or they were making CGI videos about it, or about Hubbard and everything that was going on with him. And I just, that made me laugh. I was just like, oh my God, like, what do these people really want us to believe? Oh, hey, Jonathan, just while you're here, but I know we don't talk much on Xbox there, but I do have your Xbox, and I seen you've been playing the Fallout 76 beta. Maybe we should live stream that. I don't know. You should get at me on the DMs about that. That sounds like it might be a good idea. And plus, I'm sucky at questing, so I guess it would really work out in my favor. You could help me level up. But, oh my God. And speaking of that, the Fallout 76 beta, oh my God, that thing was amazing. I was a little sad that when I got into the actual game, and like, I don't know if it happened with you, Jonathan, but I got into the actual game and my whole camp was just demolished. And you know what? Speaking of that, I know I say it a lot, but getting right down to the nitty-gritty about that game. So, I don't know if you guys are aware, or people who do see my Twitter, that I like to run a bar on Fallout 76. The premise of the game is essentially to be the settlers of the Fallout world. Well, I can't remember how many years after the bombs have dropped, and you're basically some of the first people out of the vault. And you know, the game has become it just started, and everyone's treating it like it's a PvP everything. And I just want everyone to know it's not a PvP everything. You know, you're supposed to build settlements, and you're supposed to be a trader. You're supposed to be a guard for your settlement. You're supposed to uh, there's a reason there's teams. You're supposed to, you know, help one another. You don't even have to be on a team with someone to freaking hang around them. There's, that game, I love it, but the people in it, sometimes I can't deal with them. You know, there's some problems. Like there's a problem. I end up getting power armor way more than I should. Like, oh my God, does it ever spawn everywhere? And it's all levels I can't use, so it's all the chassis I get to use for. And it ends up being like I'm walking to the first vault, like Vault 76 there, and I'm walking out and I'm giving level ones power armor and things like that because, like, I'm getting so much of it, why not help? And that's a good point to what I was talking about. Like, no one gets the premise of that game. Like, there's a lot of people like me. I have a bar, or sorry, I had a bar in Fallout 76. It was on a major highway. I can't remember which one. It was right beside Slocum Joe's, and essentially, I had a bar going. People would walk in, I would give them drinks, and they'd pay me caps for them, and that's how I made my money in the game. Like, I didn't get much customers, but when I did get a customer, uh, I had another, dill hole come around, and he just walks into my camp. I'm expecting, oh great, he's coming down. He needs a drink or he needs some food. So I was like, all right, I'll outright, you know, I'll help him out. And he comes in and he starts throwing mines and grenades everywhere, and I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? And as being a higher level, I did I I did what every high level douchebag would do, and I killed him. And he responded and, killed me. And I got him back once more, and I'm like, dude, like, I can't take this anymore. He kept coming back so many times, that I literally had to take my bar and uproot it and take my blueprints and settle it down somewhere else. And essentially, anywhere else I tried to settle said bar, it wouldn't go. I have pictures of proof for the bar, but it's not. It wasn't the best. But people aren't taking the time. You know, why not build a settlement? I don't know. I'm just gonna say this now. As much as the power armor spawns for me, I get a lot of launch codes. And screw the freaking team action. I'll get a quick team together. We'll all go nuke whoever's like being a dick to me on that server just because I get them so much. Like, so I just really wish people would start taking the game. I don't want to act like a dick about it. Like, I'm not trying to say, oh, this is Fallout 76's life, because honestly, it's not. But people could take a little more care into what they're doing in the game instead of walking around. Why not? You know, half the time you see some schmo walking down the freaking highway there, and he's like a level 5, and you're trying to take him out. Like, what did he ever do to you? Like, you're just coming around there being a dick. You're a freaking towel, Channel 1. But yeah, like, you're just being a dick, like shooting low level characters. Like, I can't even believe that. That's just outright rude. Like, these guys are trying to get a start. Fallout 76. I'm sorry. I'm not a super big gamer. Like, I'm a fighting gamer. I play fighting games. Xenoverse, like, I'm one of the top time patrollers. I'm really good at that game. But when it comes to when it comes to 76, I have a little troubles with it. So I can understand the struggle of everyone that's going on in that game, and like having a hard time getting shot right away, getting destroyed. And it just needs to change. It really does. The game is going to become a game full of dickwads, and no one's going to want to play. Like, I don't know what else I could say about that. I definitely enjoy the game, but there is times when I'm like, it's only just come out and I already have varying opinions on it, and that's not good. That's definitely not good. You should captivate an audience right away. Speaking of captivating, God, I gotta quit saying that. Speaking of captivating an audience, Channel 1 has just founded a new channel. It's called The Big Les Show. Well, I don't know if the channel is called that. I know the video series is called The Big Les Show. I don't know if you've seen it, but if you haven't, you're just a drugger, because you know there's so many people that take this animation thing super serious. Like, I don't take it super serious, but so many people take it so serious that they just try and they try and they try, and then they end up getting a good, oh hey, a regular gamer, they end up getting a good uh they end up getting good artwork, but then they get a bland story. Or Team 4 Star is a good indication. They do their own edits, but they don't have to do their own artwork. So they're basically allowed to aim at the story, and that's what makes them good. Yeah, see, even Channel 1. So the fact that Big Les Show could, take that one thing that's going on, and they focused on a story and they made the artwork relatable. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good by anyone's like standard. Like, it was just really, it's really good storytelling. It's a really good artwork. That's all I can really say about it. It's like, I don't have to defend Big Les Show. It's that good. And like I said, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Channel 1 is definitely one that doesn't listen to things I have to say to him. Trust me. He he takes certain things like shows for granted. He never checks out channels that I think are cool, and that's with a lot of my friends. I'm a nerd. I like anime, but when it came to this animation bull crap like this, like, you guys, you can't go wrong with it. You got lovable, relatable characters. There's in-depth analysis into life, and it causes you to think sideways. if you get my meaning. It's, they did substantial work. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure the whole thing is done now. Like, I can't remember if they continued or what's going on. I got to catch up on season 4 there. But it's definitely spot on. And like I said, I don't have to speak for them. They're good enough. They're good enough as they are. Um okay, so I noticed that I have 4 people in here now, so I'm just going to say hi to all of you at once and probably take a vape quick. So hi to Jonathan again, I'm down, man. I'll let you know. Great, great. Well, because I'd love to do a stream. I don't know. We'd probably have to do it on Mixer. You know how Xbox is, but whatever. We can get all these fools to show up there too. We're cool enough. Irregular gamer, nice to see you there, man. Thanks for showing up in Channel One. I know you're here, but yeah, you you're just you. I have I have nothing to say about you except that you're fucking drugga. That's that's all I have to say about that. All right. So, let's check Twitter once again here cuz there was a lot of drama going on Twitter lately. Oh yeah. God. I see a lot of you guys' posts. Oh, okay. Let's just dive into the Red Dead. I'm sorry I'm talking about a lot of video games, but they've been my life for a little while here. Let's talk about the Red Dead thing that was going on where, people were killing people and things of that nature, and it was too lifelike. Like, when did the world get so sensitive? You know, when will the world just, go into the bathroom and change its tampon? I'm just I'm done with everybody being like crying and moaning. Oh, you know, I identify as this, so that means I'm gonna cry because freaking you don't freaking respect my life choices. I never said I don't respect things like that, but there is normality, and sometimes you do gotta take life a little seriously, and sometimes people take things like that out of control. Man, I'm so freaking high right now. I totally forgot what I was just talking about. Alicia, did you hear what I was talking about? God damn it, guys, what I was talking about. Oh yeah, people being too sensitive in the world nowadays. You know, I'm not gonna trash Haggy, but I don't get along with Haggy, and that's not a secret. Everybody knows me and Haggy have different views. He's all about, being the everyman, work for yourself, freaking just be a man and get things done. And I'm more, I'm a human on this world, and you don't tell me what to do. I don't care what your title is. You have no control over what I do or what I say. I just reap the benefits that you bring me. And so even things like when I I post on stuff that Trump has said and things like that, people complain so bad. They're so sensitive. They're like, "Oh, you don't know what's going on. You don't know how everything's going up and down." My generation. I remind you, Channel One, you're only 10 years, I think, or something like that, older than I am. Like, okay, 18 years, something like that. You're crazy freaking old, but you're still close to my age. Not only that, okay, think about it this way. Monkey see, monkey do. Where'd our generation learn it? It was from your guys' whooshy generation. We just made it worse. We brought swag into the mix, and like, everybody needs a counselor and everybody needs to go see the therapist because the guy across the street said I look ugly. Like, get over yourself, people. God, I like ranting. Oh my god, irregular gamer, I cannot agree more. And you know what the point or problem is? I do speak my mind. I have to deal with certain workers right now to help me with where I am in my adult life right now, where I'm trying to deal with, becoming an adult. I'm a little confused because of Channel One's generation. So, you know, I'm just learning how to become an adult rather recently, just like when I got out of jail. So I've become a little smarter that ways, but with me, I speak my mind, and even to my worker, I was like, you know, don't tell me I can do one thing and you know one thing that I don't know, because honestly, who knows me more than me? I know me. And I know that may not make sense what I just said, because, you know, it's not a better in my head than, you know, coming out of my freaking mouth. But honestly, you know, I speak my mind. I'm a human being on this earth. If I don't like something, I'm gonna say. Otherwise, I'm just like whatever. Like I have a lot of friends that come to me with issues, and they're all like, "Oh, Tal, like, you know, I can't do this because of this, or I can't freaking I'm too scared to do this." And then they explain it to me and they have a solution to it. But then they keep on saying, like, "Oh, I can't do this because of this." I'm like, okay, well, if you have the solution and the problem seems almost solved, and you're on your path and direction of which way you want to go, then why complain about it still? It's done. It's over with. It's because people are too sensitive and they're looking for attention. And it's really clouded the world's views on things. You know, everything's, oh, I'm sad about this. It's, you know, this is gonna trigger so many people right now, and I'm sorry, you know, and to my roommate Alicia, even if this triggers you, but you know, I speak my mind. You know, people say support the troops. And you know, I can agree with that. They give up a lot for everybody. Abso-freaking-lutely they do. Would I have the balls to go do that? No. Why? Because I'm not stupid. Not saying they're stupid. I'm saying they're brave. But you know, it's just like when people are like, "Oh, well, you got to do this with your life." I don't have to do crap. I didn't ask to be born. No one told me I was going to be here. You know, I didn't ask someone to fight for my country. You want to fight for me, or your country wants to fight me, they can come up and fight me. I'm not worried about what's going on in other nations. I can barely get by on what's happening in real life now. And you're asking me to worry about what you got going on, and you know what like Trump and them got going on. Like I can't even worry about that. The government can suck it. I don't have time to deal with their crap. I don't have time to deal with wars. You know, it's just like when I used to be all like, "Oh man, you know, I'm all depressed." And then I got out of that stage. And now I have a lot of friends that ask me, you know, when you often thought about death, like, are you scared to die? And I'm like, no. You want to know why? Well, okay, that's not fully the truth. I'm scared of what's after. I'm not a good person. I like to make fun of people. And as I said, I speak my mind. And so it's not that I'm scared of dying. It's I want, I want the world to know that it's just how it is. You know, people live and people die. You could die tomorrow. You could die right now. And it wouldn't make a lick of a difference. My only goal in life is to be known, you know? And I think that's a lot of people's goal in life. You know, I'm sitting here talking right now, and all I can think to myself is I sound like Dr. Phil. Well, I don't sound like Dr. Phil because I'm not trying to help you guys with your problems, but you're sitting here listening to me rant. And I thank you for such things, because, you know, even I get annoyed of myself sometimes, and it's just sometimes I don't know how to cope with what's going on. So this is a good medium for me to get rid of everything I have to say. But we've been streaming for 30 minutes now, and I cannot deny my heart was racing right before I got on this mic here. Oh, by the way, you know, I don't know if anyone in the comments can say anything. And by the way, you guys can comment. Not everybody's got to be so quiet. I know there's only like 4 of you, but you could comment. But yeah, See, now I forgot again. See, this is what's wrong with legalization, people. You get too goddamn high when the kids go to bed, and you just baked out of your mind. And you're like, geez, man, like, why? I keep forgetting what I'm saying, what I'm talking about. It just, don't do drugs, kids. Not that I'm a good indicator of what happens. I don't do drugs. I only smoke pot. I've done other drugs. That's probably why I'm forgetting. So, on just with the people here now, I actually got a question for all of you. Now that I got a focus group of sorts, all you towels just sitting here. What do you guys think of me starting a straight out series of the animations? Like, and actually, let me take that a step further. Jonathan, you have some pretty artistic talent there, dude. Is there any way you want to be an associate of what's going on? Like, maybe be a guest animator? Oh yeah, and Tal, just so you know, like the stores may be closing, dude. You better grow your own plant. Our town cannot keep up with the amount of pot smokers. Oh, thank you guys for commenting. You guys are actually giving me a lot to talk about now. But yeah, the town is can't support its weed habitat. So essentially there's theories like Alicia thinks we're going into I'm pretty sure we're well she thinks I'm pretty sure it was her that said that the black market is gonna have to work with the government. And I'm not gonna lie, it definitely does. And you do have enough room, Tal. I've seen. And plus, it's four plants to a household. So if you put the plant in another room, it doesn't matter, man. Well, that shit is awesome for that. But yeah, you could just I don't know, you could just grow your own plants. Like Alicia said. The black market and the real government frickin' pot growers are gonna have to step it up and start working together because unfortunately all of Canada was legalized. Like in the States it's different. There's legalization here or there. It's not everywhere. Canada is like a huge country with a lot of people that smoke weed. I would have to say 95% of Canadians smoke weed or have smoked weed in their life. And not to a degree of, oh, it makes me sick. Oh, it makes me throw up. Oh, I can't do that because, I just don't smoke weed. That's not how it is. Don't try to tell me weed makes you sick. There's a reason my name's Towel. You know how many freaking joints I've smoked in my life, how many bongs I've smoked from cans, smoked from your mom. It's just so many different things I've smoked from that if it's not that bad, like cigarettes are the worst. And I'm not saying that marijuana is good for you either. I'm not saying that at all because I do it purely recreationally. I'm not one of those assholes hiding behind a green card. Oh, I have it for medical purposes. But honestly, like half the time I just can't even deal with what's going on with that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know. You're one of those people. I got my green card. Excuses, excuses. We both know you're smoking it because you like to smoke. Everybody likes to smoke, and you shouldn't be ashamed of it. Until one last thing, like I said, man, just grow your own plants. You have room. I have a plant growing right now. You can have some of the seeds that drop from it as long as they're not all male. All right. But irregular gamer, I see the only thing that scares me is going blind. Death, not so much. One day I'll dance with death, and it will be a hell of a fight. LOL. Well, honestly, you know, I don't advocate for people trying to make themselves blind, honestly. And I'm not trying to say that people are too sensitive when they are. Towel, you know I have to come downtown at some point. I will totally show you where you can grow tomorrow. I will literally walk in there. And plus, you guys will want to have to see Ezio anyways. I know Mom will. So you guys will you'll have to let me look in the closet and I'll show you. And even if there's too much stuff in the closet, you know you can put it on a windowsill, right? Like you don't need to grow a 14-foot tall plant. But anyway, just quickly back to that blind thing. You know, I'm not saying people that are blind are too sensitive because I would be devastated if I was blind as well. But a white lining, I guess, to it is just so you know, most people that are blind don't actually go full blind. It's not a full dark array or whiteness that people see. It's more blurred shapes or, you know, I'm not saying people can differentiate words and things like that, but you know, most blind people can actually see basic shapes. It's not like how Daredevil and them make it to be. You know, you get radiation in your eye, yeah, you're probably gonna go blind, but wait, what are you talking about your closet? Yeah, see. So an irregular gamer, as you know, I wear glasses and I'm not far from that as I was born a month premature and because of that my eyes didn't develop like they should and now picture Stewie's head. That is exactly what my eyes look like. You know, it's they it's just they just look like Stewie's head, and it makes my eyes more closed than they should be, and like slanted, and dare I say, like not to be racist, like as a stoner saying like Chinese eyed, but honestly, and yeah, so I know what it's all about, and I feel you, man. Like it's definitely not an easy thing to cope with, but people like us definitely got to step in there. And I'm not saying I'm blind either, guys. Like I just don't have good vision at all. That's all I'm saying. Uh, okay, so yeah. Uh, T psh, towel. Yes, my eyes are Chinese eyed because I smoke too much weed, but that's not only because I do other things besides smoke weed, But I'm pretty sure the one, oh my god, I can't believe that's not allowing. You know what? Channel 1, you got to become a moderator for this. There we go. There you go, Tal. You're my moderator because now you can put up comments and stuff without having me to do that kind of stuff for you. I'm not sure who's my moderator, but yeah. Oh, see? Yeah, I am a fucking drugger because now I don't know what I'm going on. Or now I don't know what I was going on about. Actually, speaking of I'll speak in my mind here and while I'm ranting. Let's go on with the rant. Rude, rude, rude. You know how long it took you to make me a moderator of your channel? Do you really want me to go? It took you a total of 2 years. 2 freaking years for me to become a moderator of your channel. Granted, I probably don't do it as well as you want me to because I don't exactly know what you want me to take away, but the thing is, I'm not scared of people, so I don't need anyone blocked. Like I would like someone to put up the comments when I'm talking so I don't have to stop in the middle. But okay, yeah, that's what we are talking about. I forgot. So I'm pretty sure, Tal, what you're saying is your closet is 2 feet wide and 1.5 foot deep, correct? And if I'm correct, I know there's a delay, so it's gonna be quick time. Lies, lies, lies. I know about when I became a mod, Tal. Okay. So how tall is the closet? Do you think probably like a 4 or 5 foot door? Okay. So yeah, you got about a 4 or 5 foot door. So essentially, if there's no problems with lighting or heating, which I can essentially help with, I know what I'm doing for that. Um, I can, I can help you out, Tal. You don't need you literally only need, I think, about 3 feet to grow a decent plant. And think, like, I just I'm like there's 4 plants to a household. So if you can start the germination process and then get them up to at least 2 feet, I can put them at my house. And then I can grow them after I can grow them while my crop is done. Because I only have one plant going right now, and it's in a couple months here. This is what's going to be making all our plants. So, and not only that, I'm probably going to end up getting a few seeds too. So, probably this payday, so I can hand you a couple so you can get them done. But the price of seeds is so freaking ridiculous. Weed is so much money because of how much work goes into getting it there and distributing it. But when you get a seed and you're growing it yourself, like honestly, what do you pay for a pack of tomato seeds? Like $1.50, something like that. Like nothing too big. You have to pay 40 fucking dollars. $40. Are you like that is an insane amount of money for like 3 seeds. I don't even know how people like can even justify that price. There's certain things I've thought of that I could do to make a little more money, or people could do to make a little more money. Doing some weed innovations such as dabs, like were back way back a couple of years ago. But like honestly, yeah, oh yeah, for 3 seeds, and tell the only reason you could get seeds for free back in your day was because all you got was swag bags, bruh. Just kidding. No, you guys had a lot of seeds back then. It wasn't like it was now. There wasn't so much, pickiness about the bag. Well, in my opinion. Oh yeah. Well, the seeds I get are like, what is it? Three for $40. And yeah, but that like, are you talking weed seeds go for $75 a piece, or like tomato kind of seeds or flower seeds? Like, because honestly, man, like I could see weed seeds going. Oh, pfft, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, your weed may have been way better back then, but that's because you have nostalgia from back then. I bet in 20 years I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, and you know what, Tal? I'm not surprised. $75. They're all a ripoff. Like I said, I'll get a few seeds at my cheaper price, and then I'll give you a couple. I just can't spend a whole lot of money on it. I'm actually starting some of my inventions in a couple weeks here. I'm just getting ready to move into a house. And so yeah, I'll be able to stream a lot more and do a lot more videos, not just animations. But the only reason like weed was good back then was because, is the nostalgia. Because in 40 years I'm gonna be like, no, in a million years when I'm your age, Tal, I'm gonna end up being like, weed was so great back in my day and stuff. Okay, sir. And you know what's gonna end up happening then? You're gonna be like, weed was better in my days, Sonny. And I'm gonna be like, you said that a long time ago. I knew it was just the nostalgia. And you know what? It will just be the nostalgia. It will be. And just to raise you a little bit here, you know what you guys didn't have back then that we do now? We have dabs. And dabs way better. You know what? You know what? Unless you can get me a goddamn time machine and take me back to when you were a freaking kid. Well, I guess not a kid. You weren't a kid when you started. When you were like, I can't remember. You were like 18 or something. When you can take me back to the 90s at, oh, you guys. Oh, well, I guess yeah, you guys had ISO and crap back then. Like, wait, are you talking like a honey like what are you talking about? Cuz honey oil's kind of different things here. There's a lot of different things now. There's shatter honey oil, butter, freaking I don't know what else. There's like I don't know what you just call like ISO and res like just I don't know, ISO hoots, reclaim. Well, I know when it's from dabs it's called reclaim. But like what do we call weed? Like you know when we clean out the pipe and the bong and shit, and we're washing it all down, and we freaking like we don't call it reclaim. What do we call it? We don't call it res, do we? Yeah, is it res hoots or is it ISO hoots? What do we say? Yeah, apparently we still call it res hoots. So you know, there's a lot of different things. So honey oil could be a lot of different things, Tal. If you're talking about, dipping your buds in some ISO, well then I feel really bad for you because you ruined it. You definitely ruined your guys' bud. But but if you're talking about like all the res that was in your pipes and you guys cleaned it out with ISO, I don't I don't I don't I don't know, Tal. That seems like I might have to test that out. I honestly don't think you could honestly dip. You know what? Why don't we just Google this right the freak now? Can you dip a nug in ISO? Yeah. Okay, so from what I'm seeing here, Tal, honestly, there's no one calls dipping a nug in ISO. Like even if I pull it up, the first thing that's coming up is anyone dip buds in their honey oil, THC Farmer Cannabis, THCfarmer.com. Um I I just, did you like I just don't understand. I don't think that would be good for the butt. Cuz the big thing is too, you got to remember when you're using ISO, it's also alcohol. And I'm not completely sure, but I'm pretty sure ISO can get you drunk just as much. And essentially, a lot of because you can smoke alcohol as well. Yeah. So if you're not cleaning a lot of it out, it could have been you guys were just getting freaking massively, disgustingly drunk. Tal, that does not seem okay. You know, if you put water on a bud, that it vaporizes the THC right away. Like, what do you think is gonna happen when you do that with ISO? Like, well, I guess ISO would if it killed the THC, res wouldn't work. You know what, Tal? That's a good point. We'll try it out. And then we'll put this test to a freaking end. How much weed are we gonna need to test this out? And just like, really, why not just dip it? Like, when a bud comes along, you must dip it. And please don't drag it too long. You must drip it. Oh God. And you know what? That's the thing. Like, it's just, I don't see it working, and it seems like a waste of bud. I know back then, like, weed was a little bit better, especially, you could get it off the sides of the street because it was just growing everywhere. But I don't know. I don't see how people can track the trends of marijuana um potency over the years, considering half the world was scared to show that they smoked weed until the 90s. Thanks for telling me that you'd be right back, Towel. I'm pretty sure I didn't need to know that because, but yeah, like it's because like, people didn't even really say anything about weed being good until the 90s. There was the 80s. Kids smoked weed. Adults smoked weed, but it was definitely an uphill battle for people to outright say, I smoked a joint. I smoked joints. You know, look at look at the movie Dazed and Confused. You know, in that movie, yes, it's illegal. And the kids aren't afraid to show it. But essentially it was a stigmatism. Everybody was trying to keep it quiet. Everyone didn't want anyone to know. When I was a kid, I remember people were like, "Oh man, you smoke weed, like you're freaking gross. Like I can't believe you do that. Like you'd ruin your life." And now, smoking weed, I've realized it helps a lot of people. It lowers aggression. It it helps space of mind, sometimes too much. And I think a lot of people, not only do they not see the benefits, but again, people also don't see the effects that smoking weed can have on them. It's my life decision. I would rather die from inhaling marijuana smoke over time. Yes, over time, not smoking so much that I die, because that just will not happen. But if, the carbonation that's going in my lungs from the weed is what's going to kill me, then so be it. There's a lot worse things. But it's definitely, people don't do the research that they should, and then they have a one-track opinion over what's going on. And I can tell you honestly, you know, I've helped people grow weed plants. I grow a weed plant myself right now. I I smoke weed. I've done everything having to do with it. But my point being is, and honestly, I don't even know everything about weed, but I'm able to infer off what's happening around me. You know, I'm able to infer off the news from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the movies that came out, everything, world developments that happened in such times. During Prohibition, I'm pretty sure that included weed too. That was quite, after that, it was all the smear campaigns that, stopped people from smoking weed. It was insane. Sometimes, people have to take one bit after the other and just do with it as they are. Like and really put time and effort. Unless you're like me and you can think outside the box and you can see what's going on around you. Instead of all that, like, put the time and the research in. I my roommate's cousin the other day, we were talking to her, and she's only 16. She's never smoked weed in her life. But essentially, she she tried to bombard my roommate Alicia with accusations that essentially she was scum because she smoked weed. And then we're like, okay, well, if you're calling her scum and you're dad smokes weed, he's scum too. Is that not correct? And she had a major problem with that. And I have a major problem with that too. People that speak out of turn about nothing or something they know nothing about. That's one thing I can't handle. That's one big pet peeve. I'm an intelligent person. I have an IQ of 130. My perception of life isn't limited to an average person's perception. And just so you know, IQ doesn't measure, it measures intelligence, but intelligence is perception of life, not how smart you are. Just just want to clarify that with a bunch of people before I start throwing out things, because in my head it's a tea party, it comes out as a white trash party out of my mouth. And that's not my fault. Well, it is my fault, but it is what it is. Um and again, there we go. I forgot what I was talking about. Smoking too much weed. I need to take a freaking vape here. And I'm glad you guys are here. I have four. Great. Great. Glad to know you're back, T. And you know what? You know what? Think of this, irregular gamer. You know how a brain cell gets killed? You can kill brain cells with weed. Uh, but also think of it this way. You can also kill brain cells by what? Like getting a concussion. Uh, even wearing a helmet, putting that on your head does not save you from everything. I used to play hockey, and one big story that was going around when I was younger, that a kid was playing hockey just at my age, and he got hit uh by a body check, hit the boards, and got a concussion while wearing a helmet. So you lose brain cells doing almost everything. Do you headbang? Essentially, you're losing brain cells. Do you smoke cigarettes? It's still not helping. Many things can help you lose your brain cells. Weed is one of them. And I'm not going to lie about that. And anybody that says that they don't is a liar. Because let's be honest about it, people. This is how it is. Weed is not a gateway drug. You know what a gateway drug is? Excuses. Anyone that says, "Oh, I started smoking weed and that's what got me into coke." No. Don't don't be putting that bull crap on a small plant. A small, like, it has life cuz plants have life, but a small inanimate object. You know? A small inanimate object. You're blaming it on that you have a coke problem, that you have a meth problem, that you do this, that you do that. And that is all a cop out. All it goes back to that sensitive thing. Everybody is full of excuses nowadays, full of sensitivities. You know, weed. You smoke weed. Yeah, you go to the party with your friend that does coke that has the same excuse. It's because I smoke weed that I do coke. And then you end up going with them. And then you end up, you're sitting in the room smoking the same joint, but no one said you had to do that line. No one said you had to roast some ocean. Yeah, exactly. Me myself, I weigh a total of 120 pounds. And the only reason I weigh that much is because weed curves my appetite enough where I can eat. I don't like to eat. My body doesn't tell me really that it needs to eat. And because of that, I also have a hard time making, showing muscle and fat. So my body doesn't get what it needs constantly. So exactly, like weed gives me the munchies, it helps me eat. It helps me eat that gross leftover spaghetti, the kind of like that gets really hard when you put it in the microwave, and after it's done, it's all like crispy or like hard and dry. Yeah, you know, weed can curb my appetite enough to eat that. So it's important to me. You know, I have anger issues out like, and I don't know if anyone knows this. I know Channel 1 knows this. Most of the time I'm a calm person, but it's because I smoke so much weed that I'm a calm person. I'm able to control the way I act and use it as you know, as people would say, I use it as a crutch. You know, and if that's hypocritical for me to say that you shouldn't use crutches, you know, you shouldn't be sensitive and just get over it, like, okay, you know what happens if I just get over it? I'm gonna starve to death and I'm gonna be a dusty skeleton like in 2 days. So, you know, there is exceptions. You know, someone who has cancer, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're being too sensitive. And I know that was quite the escalation from where I am. But, you know, this whole time I've been live streaming, haven't I really escalated? You know, we're delving deep into the minds of people. We're analyzing what's going on around us. You know, I'm trying to change your guys' perception. Channel 1, I know he already has a good perception on life. You know, he's able to think outside the box. And obviously, irregular gamer, your mind is in a good place too. You know what's going on, and that excites me because I was sad about my generation. My generation is so dumb. And I'm not gonna lie, Tal. We like I said again, hypocritically, I said we were conceived by all your generation. That's why we're so stupid nowadays. Well, we are. You know, I can pinpoint the exact time where the world started screwing up the generations royally. Ha and that was not a royal inbreeding joke, just saying. But, you know, in the closest future that I can pinpoint it, World War One was definitely one of those factors. They sent off young guys that were lying to get into the army. The world was developed, but not totally developed yet. We were still in our infancy of the industrial era still. You know, we weren't in the nuclear age yet, anything like that. The atomic age, I don't know. So essentially, when people came back from World War One, and two, that then again, people came back. Thank God they were over there to help us and make the world a better place today. But again, if they didn't help us back then, the world we knew today would be exactly what was gonna happen, so we wouldn't be any the wiser. So why does it even matter? But you know, you send off all these young boys to your World War One. They're going back to World War Two. You get a lot of younger boys going back or going to World War Two, and you end up getting this giant generation or two that is stuck with things like PTSD, traumatic things like that, like shell shock, things like that. Like and those are people that I get it. When you go against someone else that's taking your life or trying to take your life, that is definitely like not a it's a very basic human situation. I'm not gonna lie, but essentially it's not anything different than what's like it was a sad thing. It was sad. But then you get into the Vietnam War, the Korean Wars. You're sending people again, another generation, the same generation. I can't remember, probably that went World War II, some of them that were from World War One. Like, it was just not a good time. And essentially, when the Cold War started up and things like that, again, it caused people to be in a giant hijinks of a mood. it caused people to, instead of worrying about war and things like that, we focused on more sensitive areas of the human psyche, the brain, all the emotion that we have going on, touch, feel, science, things like that. It took a giant turn. And essentially, what that did was pave the way for or for a bunch of pansy freaking asses to freaking show up in my generation. You know, oh, poor me. My phone broke. Oh, I don't get what I want. Man, this isn't designer clothing. I'm not a YouTube sensation yet. I'm only 20 and I'm not a millionaire. I'm not an internet celebrity. Shane Dawson didn't tweet me back. You know, oh my God, life is so hard. I had a kid at age 15 and now I can't deal with life. And you know what? As I said, it all comes from the generation before. In, you know, in my family, there's a saying. My parents, Channel 1, and no, well, I guess that's out of the bag. So, okay, my parents, they once told me, you know, your kids are going to be 3 times worse than you. My grandma before my mom had kids, your children are going to be 3 times worse than you. The same thing happened to my grandma. You know, that's how it goes. Your kids are just going to be worse, and that's how life is nowadays. It keeps Everyone keeps pushing the boundaries, but like, what the crap is a goddamn microaggression? Like, I I watch Family Guy a lot, and Seth MacFarlane, he's a guy that I really connect with because he gets the world today. He definitely shows a more liberalist view, as do I, but I don't care in any government at all. But he really knows how things are going. He's not afraid to say what's on his mind. He's not afraid to go there. And he's definitely an inspiration into how I live my everyday life. I don't care if you're a government worker. I don't care if you're a police officer. I don't care if you're a firefighter. I don't care if you work for frickin' the mafia. I don't care. Your title means nothing to me. Kill me or let me go. Those are your two options. I'm doing what I want, when I want, however I want. And as a human being, I think we've been stripped of our rights. And think about the laws today. The laws today. I saw a tweet on Twitter today that explained it really nicely. The laws today don't, you know, govern us to be good people. They aren't there to keep us straight. Because if they were, the government wouldn't do things like terrorize their own citizens, have to do certain things to other countries. And, so if the government was on my side, I wouldn't be like trying to scrape by on a minimum wage job. You know, People should be able to live their lives. There's a good situation. I'm a swordsman. I practice the swords quite often. And my biggest pet peeve is, back in the day, people could wear their 6 iron, people could hold weapons on them. Not saying that people need to use them, and not saying I advocate weapon use. But as a swordsman, I know discipline. And discipline is one thing that people need to have, of course, when having a weapon. But the fact that I cannot carry a means of protection on myself in this so great country of Canada is a problem. If the government was here to help, I wouldn't have had to ask Trudeau. None of us would have had to ask Trudeau to legalize marijuana. You know, it would just have been done. It wouldn't have been an issue because no one would have cared. And that's a big thing in today's society. We get dragged down by everything that's going on in the government. Everybody's got to be politically correct nowadays. Now, you know, I honestly hope that the apocalypse comes. The world, yes, that's a freaking good point. Kids, teens, young adults, even some adults, elderly, lack discipline. And not only themselves, that comes right back to the smoking weed and being a gateway drug. If you have discipline, things like that aren't gonna happen. Like, I'm not one to talk. I vape and I still smoke cigarettes, which is not okay. Don't smoke cigarettes. It's a bad habit to get into, I said hypocritically. But essentially, I freaking forgot. Yeah. I don't have discipline to stop smoking. I probably could if I really gave a crap. I'm going to die anyway some point, so I don't really care. But, some kids nowadays, that's why sports for kids is good. Throw them into archery. I once had a friend. Her name is Darby Dean. Look her up. She was, I think, in 2011, 2012, she was the world Olympic junior archer. And she was top. She was the top archer of Canada. Her boyfriend, the second top archer in Canada. And you want to know how that all started? It was because a bunch of my friends and her went to an archery class once, just after school, to kill some time. She ended up being so good. She disciplined herself in the area and within a year was Canada's greatest archer. If that is not a story of discipline and heroism, then I don't know what is. She bucked up, she got what she needed to done, and she worked for what she wanted. And she's a great inspiration to me. There's even, my not essentially my friend, but again, I went to school with him, Zach Musso. He's a professional skier, urban skier, downhill skier, all of the above except for cross country. I don't think he's a professional in that. But the guy during high school, the guy was becoming famous for all the mountain biking he was doing, all the skiing he was doing. And you want to know why? Because he put time and effort into what he was doing. Discipline, discipline, discipline. Discipline yourself. I have a lot of excuses coming to me from people, oh, I can't work out. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't do that. Tell your mind, tell your body, this is how it all works out. This is how things are. You control your body. I have a high pain tolerance. Why? Because I conditioned my body to have a high pain tolerance. My body is disciplined. It takes the brunt of damage I need it to take. I can take more damage than the ordinary person. Getting beat up does nothing to me. Like, and it's a very bad situation that future generations continuously lose discipline. Even back in the 80s, we still had kids that we had so much more kids that were wanting to be farmers back then, put their hands to the land and just get it done and be that part of society. But essentially, with the new age of the internet, digital takeover, there's a lot of things that go into what's happening in like with our world nowadays that we're all becoming way too caught up in everything. I have an addiction to Twitter, so I absolutely know we're all getting caught up, and even us, none of us can lie. We all get caught up in the drama on YouTube. We were all caught up in the Charlie crap way back then. We've been caught up when Keemstar was screwing with Haggy and shit like that. We were caught up when Haggy like freaked out that one night when Pickle Boy and Keemstar were on the stream. Like, it's every generation is getting more screwed up, but also every generation becomes more entitled than the next, or than the before. My generation, I myself have a God complex. If you were to ask any of my friends, they would tell you that I think I am the perfect freaking specimen of the world. Nothing with what I do is wrong. I never get anything wrong. And I'm just the best thing since frickin' sliced bread. And you know what? I know it's not true. And it's definitely a good morale booster. So definitely try it out for yourself. But, every generation that comes after starts getting more entitled. And it becomes a shit show. And what's going to happen when everyone's so sensitive, you can't even freaking walk up to a person and kiss them. You can't make love to a person because, oh, that's my private area. We're together, but I'm sensitive about that. So you know what? We can never do stuff. You know what's going to happen then? The population's going to dwindle. It's just gonna, we're gonna be done for. It's, they say we're gonna run out of water, fresh water, or no, what is it? We're gonna run out of fresh natural gas for us with within 50 to 80 years with the current rate that the population is expanding and motor vehicles and all types of motor vehicles and automobiles are being used. So, and you know why that is? It's because every goddamn generation from before, or from the generation before, is goddamn freaking too entitled. Channel's one generation got so entitled that now we're going to be in a resource wars, essentially. Eventually, it's going to happen. Not one person in the world doesn't believe that World War III won't happen. It's going to happen, and it's inevitable. So, it's that kind of thing that, with the entitlement of Channel 1's generation, my generation came out, and now look, I'm some 22-year-old freaking kid sitting at my desk, wasting my life trying to make it big on YouTube with using this as my own company just so I don't have to do work. And you know what? It's because my generation is so entitled. My generation lacks the discipline. As I said, I do have discipline. I do work, and I do get things done when I need to get them done. I'm aware of my faults. I'm aware of everyone else's faults, and I like to point them out because they're fucking hilarious. But trust me, there's no way anyone's going to get under my skin with my faults. So, like the trolls, they try to get on my bad side, say a bunch of shit. I was checking my comments the other day, or today, and a bunch of people, oh man, you suck, you can't do this. It was a big thing. Even like my raps were out. Half of them were like, oh, you suck. But then, you go to the one of the better ones, and even the trolls are like, oh man, that's all cool. Like, because I don't give them the reaction. Because I know how to keep myself presently calm with not only weed, with discipline, with a very perceptive mind, and everything else that I've talked about. So I don't completely know who's sitting here still. I don't exactly know. This has been going on for 80 minutes. I've been going on for almost an hour and a half now. And this is my first live stream coming back into it. As I said, please, 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 if you guys could DM me some story ideas for my animations. I need I need some ideas. I'm drawing a blank. Drawing is hard enough that having to deal with a story is becoming an issue. So if I could get some help with that, your name will be in the credits. We can work together. Channel 1, now that I have people watching and everyone else knows, if I even have to, Channel 1 has agreed to be a character in my show. So I need some ideas. And thank you for the solid or saying it was a solid stream. And I know you said so far, it makes me feel so bad that it's been quite a time now, and I can't keep letting my roommate deal with my son if he wakes up. So I do have to get going. But give me some ideas. And if you guys liked my live stream, I like to rant, you guys. I'm gonna be putting some of these rants into animation. They're not gonna be as drug on as they were, because I do tend to get off in tangents a lot. I forget what I'm saying, and you know I just want to voice my opinion, you guys, and that's all anyone wants to do on this stream. So absolutely. And one big thing I want to say, because I am gonna leave, and like, share, subscribe as always if you haven't already, which I'm pretty sure you all are. John has to get a hold of me. But there's one thing I want everybody to know. I like telling people I told you so really bad. Like I live to do it. I do it to my roommate all the time. Like even she will agree. Alicia, do you not agree? Yeah, even she agrees that I like to say I told you so. So back when I had my old channel, Bad Talent Network, before it was changed, I had a persona where I was a very exaggerated version of myself. I ranted a lot more. I was a lot more angry. I was a lot dumber, things like that. And for the people that kept telling me, no, that's your normal persona. This is how you talk, things like that. Just 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 honestly, man. Or honestly, people, take a good look at this stream. I'm not as dumb as I seem. I'm very perceptive. I'm extremely smart. Uh, but just so everyone knows, if Channel One will let me do a stream with him tomorrow, if he's doing one, I'm gonna be on there with him if he lets me. If not, I will be. Alicia, are you cool with watching Ezio again tomorrow night? Oh wait, never mind. I forgot. I'll be able to do a stream after the kids go to bed tomorrow. So don't forget to press that subscribe button. Don't forget to like. Please leave a comment in the comments below after the video has said itself. I do like them comments. I do go back and reread them every once in a while to, remember the old days and yesteryear and such. So you know what, guys? Don't forget to be a good guy and a bad towel. Peace the freak out. And it's good to be back, guys.